Hello, hello, my love. I hope this finds you doing so well. This is a challenging one. This is a challenging time to be alive, to be a US citizen, to, in many ways, even begin to know what to say to y'all because this is a lot, right? this is a it's not a shocking moment in that I fully 100% expected this. And if you are a student of the United States, of history, of fascism, of right wing movements, you're not shocked, but there's something shocking. And sure, I could come out here all life coachy to say, like, but you don't know what's going to happen. You can choose your thoughts around it. And there's a truth to that, right? So, I don't want us to end up in the pits of despair thinking we have no other possible way to think or feel or move our way through this. And I don't want to make light of it, right? Actual human lives are on the line. And most of those lives are those of marginalized, racialized, othered people, QT BIPOC folks, disabled folks, folks with long COVID, women. I mean, it's really real out there, and I'm not going to minimize it. And yeah, this is not a moment to wallow in despair. And it's also not a moment to sugarcoat it or do some like silver lining BS. It's a moment to get our heads screwed on right, to make solid plans for things that concern our bodily autonomy, birth control, Plan B, hormones. It's a moment for every queer parent who hasn't adopted their child to get to doing so, for everyone not in a hetero marriage, like if you are gay married or if you are not married and are cohabitating and have no plans of getting, like, if you are not in a hetero marriage and you want someone other than your family of origin to have control over you, God forbid, there's a reason you can't take care of yourself. If you want your chosen family to manage your health and your finances, you need to make power of attorney plans. You need to talk to a lawyer. We need to get on it. It's time to take action for self protection, to gather our energy for community care, mutual aid, collective liberation. And this is just one of the many episodes I know I'll be doing all about our election fields because we're really going to need each other super extra in the next 4 years. And as a naturalized US citizen, aka one of the people the Mango Mussolini has been talking about deporting, I want to be real here. I am also having a very lot of feels. A very lot of feels. For myself, sure, but I have a lot of privilege, educational privilege, this accent in English. Thank you, public schools of the great state of Providence, Rhode Island. Um, I have a lot of privileges, and there's a lot of people who, like dreamers, undocumented folks, other naturalized people who don't have my privilege. And my heart is breaking left, right, and center. I'm having a lot of the feels. And I am grateful now, as always, for my skills, my tools, for all of my years of training in somatics and somatic experiencing, for the capacity in my nervous system, for my gente, my people who hold me so tight. Juana and Billy, I want to give the two of y'all specific shout out right now. Thank you. And as always, I'm super grateful that it is my job to hold space for grounding, for community, for somatics. So I can both be of service and can ground my nervous system, my inner children, support myself through the communities that I'm not just a part of, but have created. And being of service in the community is one of the greatest gifts and has been a real anchor for me through all of this. Because it's not just the election results, it's all these months of vitriol and pain and lying and garbage leading up to this. No? So it's time for some real talk about how to keep moving forward without falling prey to the swirling chaos designed to leave us exhausted, isolated, and disoriented. The architects of authoritarianism thrive on our overwhelm. So let's deny them the satisfaction. Instead, let's find ways to stay clear-eyed and grounded as we resist, connect, and build. And in the coming weeks, I'll go deeper into many of these topics. So let's touch in. One, and there are 9 of them. Nervous systems like to know what's coming. 1, trust yourself. My baby, my darling, my angel. You've got a lifetime of instincts, knowledge, and experience to draw on, and those are powerful tools. So often when we live in emotional outsourcing, we don't feel trustworthy to ourselves. We doubt ourselves really deeply, and we're going to be talking about this soon. And now is the time to hone the skills of self-trust. Because when we feel the constant trip of fear, we start to doubt ourselves even deeper. We wonder if what we know is true. We question if we're seeing things clearly when all they're saying is fear, 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 fear. And when we can tune into our intuition and listen to our inner wisdom, when we can recognize the things we already know, what we value, what we'll fight for, what feels like fear versus what feels like reality, then we're in our power. In order to step into self-trust and out of self-doubt, we need to honor our bodies. Yes, my loves, taller toddler time. You are a toddler. You're just taller now and you pay your taxes. If you're tired, allow yourself the rest you need to stay sharp. Feed yourself. Surround yourself with good people who love you. Connect with animals, connect with nature, connect with the earth, drink water. You are a taller toddler, and you will trust yourself best when you are treating your body with kindness. Trusting yourself is a foundation for everything else here. It's the steady ground under your feet in times that feel wild and unsteady. A simple, powerful way to start building self-trust is to create a daily practice of checking in with your body before making decisions, big or small. Because we lose this in emotional outsourcing. We step out of this capacity of ours to hear our own yes and no. So take a small moment, a quiet moment. Close your beautiful eyes if that's supportive, or simply lower your gaze and bring your awareness to your breath. Don't change it. Your breath is that roadmap inward. Ask yourself, what do I feel about this choice? Notice any sensations, tightness, warmth, ease, resistance, opening. These physical cues, felt sensation, are your body's way of speaking, offering insights often more honest than words, which, remember, go through the filter of the mind, socialization, conditioning. By learning to identify these signals, you're reconnecting with your inner compass, slowly teaching yourself that, yes, you can rely on your own wisdom to guide you. Every time you listen and honor what your body is telling you, you're laying one more brick in the foundation of self-trust. 2, find your people and stay connected. This fight isn't one any of us can do alone. Start to find folks you trust if you don't already have them, and make it a habit to check in, to ground each other, and to stay sharp together. Having people to touch base with reminds us that we are not alone and that our collective power is more than the sum of its parts. Be that anchor for each other to counter the isolation they want us to feel. We don't need to drown in each other's worries or spiral together, but we do need to remind each other that we are in this side by side, that we see clearly, and that we're moving forward hand in hand. To strengthen these bonds of support, consider starting a ritual with a trusted friend or group where you each share one grounding thought, feeling, or intention at regular intervals. I like weekly, but man, if daily feels right, go for it. Keep it simple and specific, and you don't need a big group, you just need a dedicated group. Share a single sentence about what is helping you stay centered or something you're working on within yourself. This practice isn't about solving each other's worries. There's nothing to fix here. It's about showing up with mutual care and accountability, creating a steady rhythm of connection that fortifies each of you. By holding space for each other's truths in this intentional way, you're building a shared resilience that reminds you that you're part of something bigger than yourself, moving forward together. And this is the work we do in Anchored, to hold each other gently, gingerly, lovingly, and to be each other's people in the most trying of times. If you're sitting here thinking, that sounds great, but I don't have friends. I just moved to a new city, or I live somewhere rural, or whatever it is where you don't have people, the internet is a magical place. See what community you can find online to support you, to have your back. Please don't go this alone. 3, envision what you're building. Look, it's easy to get stuck in imagining the worst case scenarios, especially in times like these. And yes, a healthy dose of reality and vigilance is crucial. Vigilance is not hyper vigilance, right? It is important to be aware of reality and to reality check ourselves, to not let ourselves go all the way overboard. And simultaneously, there is something so powerful about envisioning where we want to go to. I want to invite you to spend just as much time envisioning, seeing, and working towards the world you want to create. The equity, the justice, the spaces where everyone has a safe place to be themselves. Picture how this resistance contributes to that brighter future. We're not just fighting against something, we're fighting for something. Hold that vision close. It what keeps the fire burning when everything else feels heavy. To keep this vision alive, try a daily or weekly practice of writing down one tangible element of the future you want to help create. Close your eyes, take a few deep breaths, and allow your mind to wander freely into that beautiful future. What does justice look like, feel like, sound like? Picture it in specific sensory details as you are capable of. Maybe it's the warmth of community gatherings, the laughter of children who feel safe, or the feeling of relief when everyone's basic human needs are met and are met justly. Write these visions down somewhere you can see often, like a journal or a notes app. Draw a beautiful picture or draw a messy, scribbly one. It's the doing that matters. And revisit them whenever your resolve wavers. This simple ritual connects you to the purpose and beauty in all of our work, anchoring you in the vision of the world you're building, one small kitten step at a time. 4, handle your fear without letting it handle you. Fear has a way of making us feel small, of silencing us, but it doesn't have to. Our goal here isn't to pretend fear isn't there, it's to keep it moving so it doesn't trap us in our own minds. Fear will come, especially in times like these, but let's remember that it doesn't have to dictate our actions. Channel it, direct it, and turn it into something that serves our purpose rather than silencing it. When we resist intimidation and keep showing up, we make fear itself rebound. When they want us squared and quiet, let's be loud and persistent instead. When fear creeps in, practice letting it move through you rather than letting it root you in place. Start by pausing, noticing where fear lives in your body. Ooh, maybe it's a tightness in your chest, a flutter in your stomach, a heaviness in your shoulder. Breathe deeply into that sensation and imagine it as energy you can harness, not a barrier holding you back. Ask yourself, what does this fear want to protect? Often, fear is a guardian of something precious, like your values or the people you love. With this perspective, channel that protective energy outward. Turn it into action, into words, into steps that align with your purpose. This reframing shifts fear from an immobilizing force to a fuel source, letting you move forward louder, steadier, and more empowered. 5, release what's beyond your control. My darling, my beauty, my angel, not every single battle is yours to fight. And not every front needs your energy, especially not equally to every other front. That desire to act on everything, I get it. Oh my God, I'm such a justice-driven Leo. I mean, it is powerful within me. Plus ADHD and justice, that's a whole other thing. But that desire to act on everything unchecked, trust and believe it is a ticket to burnout And symbolic gestures, performative gestures, like just going to the rally, though, like go to the rally, they don't bring the change we're here to make. So I want to invite you to choose your focus. If there's something you can't change, release it with compassion, knowing you're preserving your energy for what will make a difference. That's not giving up, it's staying strategic, conserving our power, our voice, our energy, our money, our resources for what truly matters, and for the fights we're dedicated to fight. To practice releasing what's beyond your control, try a gentle ritual of letting go each day. At the end of your day, set aside a few moments to sit quietly, breathe deeply, and mentally review anything that's weighing on you. And this is a beautiful one also if you have insomnia. Worries, conflicts, situations you wish you could change but can't. Review them all and visualize each one as a small stone you're holding. With each exhale, imagine placing the stone down one by one, releasing them back to the earth. Remind yourself, this is not mine to carry. Honoring your choice to conserve your energy for what you can impact. By consciously releasing, you're creating space within yourself, preserving your strength and clarity for the work that truly aligns with your purpose. This practice is an act of compassion for yourself and a commitment to staying focused on what matters most. 6, use your voice. Do not obey in advance. Here's the thing. Silence can be compliance, and political spaces that you don't use, you lose. Be mindful of when and how you speak, but don't preemptively silence yourself. This isn't the time to second guess every word or soften your stance because it might ruffle some feathers. Use the voice you have, the political space you occupy. Talk to your racist Uncle Kevin at the dinner table. Make it clear where you stand. Silence is their playground. Our voices are the power they fear. To strengthen your voice, try setting an intention each day to speak up in one small, meaningful way. Maybe it's expressing your stance in a conversation, sharing an opinion online, or supporting someone else who's advocating for change, or making it clear that you are not just some token ally, but you are an accomplice and a co-conspirator. Before you act, take a deep breath. Feel your strength in your body, and if you don't feel strong in your body, borrow the strength of someone strong. From a movie, from a book, a character who embodies the kind of strength you want to step into. Perhaps a poet. And remind yourself, my voice matters. Picture your words as ripples in a pond extending beyond you, creating impact even if you don't see it right away. This small daily practice helps dismantle the habit of self-censorship, building confidence in the power of your voice. Each time you speak with purpose, you reclaim space from the forces that thrive on silence. You are taking a stand, sending a clear message that you won't be muted because your voice is here to be heard, and it's one of the most powerful tools you have. Obvi, and as always, if it would be physically dangerous for you to speak up, especially if you're a person in a marginalized identity, a racialized body, a queer or trans body, por favor, mi amor, please put your physical safety first, my angel, please. 7, understand power and how to disrupt it. Power doesn't stand alone. It rests on a complex web of support from corporations to governments to media. Find those pillars and know that shifting just one can destabilize the whole structure. This isn't a call to take on everything. It's about understanding where to apply pressure, aka which boycott to join. And there's whole apps, just by the way, there's apps where you can boycott towards whatever political goal you wish to push forward. And it works. You know, the more of us who are boycotting these massive corporations that are destroying our earth, that are telling us that brown folks are dispensable, that are funding forces of evil, it does make an impact. Change doesn't happen because power willingly relinquishes itself. It happens because people find the pressure points and push. To start understanding power and where you, yes, you can disrupt it, especially with your dollars, take a moment to map out the power structures around you. Choose an issue you care about and identify its supporting pillars. Who benefits from keeping things as they are? What systems or organizations uphold it? Then ask yourself where you can apply pressure. Maybe it is choosing where you spend your money, joining local activism that targets a specific policy, or amplifying voices that are calling out injustice. Even small actions, canceling a service and sending a letter in with your final bill, redirecting your funds, and letting that coffee joint know that you're not shopping there anymore, for example, or divesting, taking your money out of massive multinational banks, massive national banks, and putting it in local credit unions, for example, or consistently challenging harmful narratives. All these things chip away the foundations that power relies on. Visualize these actions as targeted, precise taps, each one weakening the larger structure. By understanding power's dependencies, you become not just a bystander, but a force working towards transformation, using deliberate actions that ripple outward to create change. Reorient with empathy, but without compromise, is number 8. The landscape has shifted, and some folks are finding new ways to communicate across divides. If this means finding new words to reach across difference, fine, but not at the cost of my core beliefs. Empathy and compassion are essential in helping people see a way forward, but compromise of values isn't. This is about extending a hand where it makes sense, not bending our beliefs to fit someone else's, and definitely is not about quieting ourselves, silencing ourselves, or stepping out of our own value system to make someone else feel comfortable. I'm long done with that. To practice reorienting with empathy without sacrificing your core beliefs, try approaching each conversation with the intent to understand, not persuade. When you engage with someone who sees things differently, listen closely, acknowledging their experience without immediately offering a counterpoint. After listening, reaffirm your own values silently to yourself, anchoring your mind, your body, your energy in what you know to be true. If there's a point of connection, extend empathy and compassion from that shared ground. But if the discussion veers into compromising your principles, hold your line with grace. For example, you might say, I hear where you're coming from, and I respect that that is your point of view, and here's where I stand. Here are my values. Here's what I believe about equity and justice for all. This approach allows you to bridge divides with compassion without diluting your values. In practicing empathy rooted in inner clarity, which takes us back up to number 1, building inner trust, you're embodying a strength that invites understanding while remaining steadfast in what matters most to you. Finally, number 9, we're not alone in this. My beauty, they want us tired. They want us feeling powerless. They want us alone, but we're not. There are millions of us within the US and across the world working, fighting, building something better. Remember that when the weight feels heavy. This isn't just about resisting what we're against, it's about creating what we stand for. To remember you're not alone, we turn once more to ritual and community, my witches, interdependence above all. I'll really invite you to create a ritual of connection. It is so vital, whether through a weekly text chain, a daily text chain, a weekly call with friends, a virtual meetup with like-minded folks, or taking a moment each day to scroll through messages or posts from people who share your vision. So not doom scrolling the doom, but joining a local anti-racist or mutual aid or other political or collective support group and connecting there with folks who are moving the needle towards more justice. And yes, the local food bank is just such a place. It doesn't have to be your local socialist or communist group. It doesn't have to be like a politicized thing. Food justice, food insecurity, that's about poverty. That's about capitalism. That's about white supremacy. Most things where there's injustice is a political issue. So, yeah, the food bank is a political space, even if it's not politicized. And joining in with others who care about food insecurity, who care about hunger, it matters. So, take a moment to ask yourself what really matters to you, what the work is that matters, and how you want to connect and connect. Take the time to genuinely connect with the collective energy of others doing this work, whether you're across the pantry or if you're miles apart. Place a hand on your heart and acknowledge that you're one piece of a much larger whole, each beating heartbeat joining millions of others who want peace, equity, equality, each small effort building towards something transformative. When the weight feels heavy, return to this ritual. Let it remind you that your work is amplified by countless others working in harmony, and that together we are building a world to believe in, one steady, teeny, tiny kitten step at a time. So, my loves, let's stay steady, stay grounded, keep imagining the world we want, keep moving forward together. Wear your mask, hug your people, don't lose hope. The times are intense, and there is power in knowing that we're still here, still breathing, still fighting, still building the future we believe in. You, me, we, together. Thanks for listening, my love. Know that I'm sending so much love from my tender heart to yours. Let's do what we do. Gentle hand on your heart should you feel so moved. And remember, you are safe, you are held, you are loved. And when one of us heals, we help heal the world. Be well, my beauty. I'll talk to you soon.